if you are receiving money from somewhere, that is an income stream. And if it's over 50k for the last year, you need to register for Making Tax Digital. Next year, it's over 30k. The year after, it's over 20k. So the most important things to remember are you over the threshold for this year, or is it next year or the year after? Have you got software or something in place so you can report quarterly? How you're going to do that? If it's you going to do it, have you got someone who can handhold you, or do you just want to give it to someone else? If you do, just find the right person and get 3 quotes for that to compare, as you would expect if someone came to ask you. And just know your numbers and where you're at to avoid those brown envelopes for your letterbox. Hi, welcome to the Small Business Podcast for small businesses, where we talk everything about what your small business needs, whether we can help, we know someone who can help, whether you get some tips and tricks from this, whether you want to come on and be interviewed. But today, lucky Liam gets to talk all about Making Tax Digital with me.
Yay!
So don't skip this. If you're earning, and I mean earnings, so total turnover, total gross, all your invoices are over 50k in the last 12 months, this relates to you.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Yeah.
What do you mean by turnover? Like, in case anyone doesn't know.
So all your incomes, everything that's coming from your self-employment or your property business,
Yeah.
that's your total.
So anything.
Not after expenses, not profit, total, absolute, everything you take by backs, by card machine, by cash, because we all do take a bit of cash, or any other means of payment, PayPal. I've had a few inquiries. HMRC did a big crackdown on OnlyFans because people thought it was coming through PayPal, so it wasn't income. Yes, it is if you are receiving money. They've done the same with Vinted as well. If you are receiving money from somewhere, that is an income stream. And if it's over 50k for the last, I was going to say 5 years, that's where my brain's going. If it's over 50k for the last year, you need to register for Making Tax Digital. Next year, it's over 30k. The year after, it's over 20k. So basically,
Everyone.
You can sign up early, whether you want to or not. We'll come on to that. But yes, it will ultimately be everyone. However, all us limited company directors earn £12,570. That's all you need to know. So, Making Tax Digital, as I say, don't skip it. We're all going to have to do it. Yes, it's boring. Yes, it's more admin for small businesses. Yes, it's more cost for small businesses. So if anyone asks, the government are in full support of small businesses.
Yay.
Said with quite a lot of sarcasm, if you didn't get that tone in my voice, if you've not listened to me before. So Making Tax Digital is basically the government wants us to report, not pay, report our numbers on a quarterly basis.
Okay.
So a bit like if you're already VAT registered, you will already be doing this, but you will be reporting and paying VAT on a quarterly basis. So currently, if you're self-employed, you do one self-assessment every year. You have between the 6th of April and the 31st of January to file that self-assessment. I always recommend to do it as early as possible because you don't have to pay until the 31st of January. So at least you know how long you've got to save up for if you haven't already put some money aside. So you don't have to pay it quarterly. It's literally just reporting quarterly. The difficulty that comes into it is Making Tax Digital for a reason, because they want you to digitally report it.
Okay. Right.
That's the right word.
Yeah.
So they want you to digitally report it, which means paying for software of some sort.
Okay.
Which, again, big win for Sophie. Not only have we got to do more admin, i.e. report it on a quarterly basis, but you also have to pay for the software to report it. There is some free software out there. I'll come on to that. But also, if you don't record or report your own self-assessment or file your own self-assessment. So if you have a bookkeeper like me to do it or an accountant to do it, your fees of that will go up as well, because they then need to report and submit your self-assessment quarterly.
3 more times a year than doing it.
Exactly. So pros and cons. Pros is paperwork needs to be more up to date. So you can't just turn up with your bag of receipts once a year. You have to do it quarterly, which is good in a way because you get to know your income, where you are, your expenses. You'll get to know, you should be, if you're running a business, you should be knowing this, and ideally on a monthly basis. What's your income? What's your expenses? So what's your profit? How are you working every single month? And if you're self-employed or property owner, that is your money. So that's your income. You don't have PAYE. That is yours, and that's what you're solely taxed on. Now, pros, it is good to do it, I think, more regularly and know what your numbers are. Cons, you now need to do it on a quarterly basis. So instead of once a year, it is 3 times a year. So if you're used to doing it once a year and pulling everything together, you then now need to do it on 3 times a year, which less than ideal if you're that type of person. But if you want to be more organised, massive pro. The second thing to note is that you are not having to pay quarterly. And I think that's a lot of people's worry, is they will now be paying on a quarterly basis. That's not the case. It is the point where you will still pay. So you'll do the full year and then you will pay by the 31st of January again. The caveat for that is if it's your first year of being self-employed, and you earn over a certain amount to be taxed on, you will have to pay 50% of the year after upfront. So another non-benefit of being self-employed and being successful is that you pay. So if you've done, so we're just coming up with 2 weeks off the 6th of April as I speak. So after the 6th of April, I can submit your tax return from the 6th of April 25 to 5th of April 26. If you've earned over a certain amount and you owe tax, i.e. over 12,570, but it is a bit more than that, you will then pay your tax on that profit. Absolutely fine. But you will then, if it's your first year, HMR will assume you will be as successful the next year. So they will ask, not only do you have that full year's tax on the 31st of January, you will pay 50% of the next year's tax on the 31st of January. And then the balancing payment is on the 31st of July, which, again, pros and cons. We then have to pay we're always a year ahead in our tax.
It does.
It's great to be self-employed.
You just kind of, you hear how the government's always in favour of small businesses, and it's the powerhouse of the UK and everything. But that just seems backwards coming forwards, doesn't it? But that then be the rules. Yeah,
that's the rules, and that's what the government says. So all of this is it ideal? Is it great? It depends how you look at it, pros and cons. My issue is with your then having to pay for some software. Yeah. So not that we have any secret handshakes in our government, but someone's doing well after this.
People who...
A bit like the PPE 6 years ago today. The PPE companies, software companies, doing really, really well. Yeah. So on HMRC's website, if you'd like to go and look, and that's joking aside, if you're unsure of the rules, unsure what you need to do, unsure of anything, go to the Gov website. It is all on there. Whether it's written well and easy to find is a bit of a question mark, but everything is on there, and that's the rules you need to abide by. Mm-hmm. The problem being now, if you Google something, AI or Gemini or whatever, or ChatGPT, wherever you put that, it will draw from a lot of different sources, and it can draw from, if I did a blog post on it, but I am not the HMRC. I am not 100% correct. So always go to the HMRC's website, because it removes all doubt, all confusion. No, you can't argue with that. Well, you could, but you're not going to get anywhere.
Yes. They're going to back themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're self-employed, all you need to know is, do you earn, or is your turnover or total income over that amount? If it is, you need to register for Making Tax Digital. Doesn't take long, very easy to do. And then you need a piece of software and piece of kit. Now, listed on the HMR website, so the ones that are Making Tax Digital friendly, or whatever the wording they use is. So basically, you can use that piece of software or that company for your business for Making Tax Digital. There is one, I think it's called 123 Sheets, which is a spreadsheet version, which is what a lot of self-employed people are still on. However, there is also Xero, QuickBooks, Sage, etc. I have no affiliates to any of them. They all have their pros and cons. I would always go, they can all do the job. It ultimately turns out of what reporting or what you need it to do. If you just need it to put your numbers in and press a button every quarter for your self-assessment to go off and link to your government gateway code, any of them are absolutely fine. I would just go those key three ones, I would just go with the cheapest. And don't be upsold stuff. It's very, very easy to get confused and sign up to a software company and go, oh, this would be nice, that'd be nice. Nah, you don't need it. If you don't use it now, don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, just a little anecdote to that is I signed up for QuickBooks and it's working fine. And then I noticed there was like an additional charge to the charge that I was like signed up and what I was using, and it was for like payroll. But it's like it's me. Yeah. So I don't necessarily need that. I'm managing myself, and it was a case of just checking what licenses you've gone for and signed up to. So that's just a little warning for you if you're just kind of signing up. Just have a little check of which boxes ticks, because you might, like in my case, I've got it free for the first however many months, and then there was another charge, and I was like, oh, hello. Yeah. What's that?
So what do I need this for? But also I think the other side to that, it is a government thing. So you are very much, am I doing this right? Scared, am I going to get fined? Yeah. They're going to waive or anything for the first year as everyone settles down and gets used to it. However, year 2, 3 and 4, it will be cracked down. A bit like they did with VAT and changing all the penalties for VAT. So, and that's VAT submission and VAT payment as well. So there's 2 elements to everything. There's always and like now, if you don't submit your self-assessment on time, you get £100 fine straight away. They will estimate what they think that self-assessment payment will be, and then they will charge you interest on top of that as well. Right. So it's just understanding what you need and how you need it. Now, self-assessment is exactly that. It's done so you can do it yourself. So you submit your numbers, you are fully registered for that. However, there are people like myself, whether they're called bookkeepers, virtual assistants specialise in it, or there are accountants for it as well. The only thing I'd suggest, unless you have a very complex one, is just get a range of quotes of who you want to use and who you want to talk to. I've had some really outrageous charges and people coming in and what they've been charged, and they're paying more for limited company accounts than for their self-assessment. You should not be paying a lot for your self-assessment. And that's what's scary, because I think people are so scared of getting it wrong.
And like almost some people are kind of looking at it as an opportunity to, in the nicest possible way, perhaps sell you, again, like QuickBooks, sell you something that perhaps isn't like, is there like a best case, well, not a best case, but like kind of a rough, if you're a solo business owner, should you be looking for a bookkeeper or a virtual assistant, compared to like if it's a bigger business, you'd have thought they'd go with an accountant? Is there like not really. It's hard because
just go with. It's a difficult one because it's a bit like how much do you charge?
Yeah.
Now I have people coming in with their bag full of receipts, and then I obviously have to sort the receipts, get them on a spreadsheet, make sure their bank matches, and etc. If they're already on software, and they've been taking pictures of their own receipts, that's obviously a lot easier. It's the same with who you choose to help you. It's making sure you have someone who's recommended. I would get 3 quotes, so from different people, and just making sure they're going to provide you with the service that you actually want. And think of it as your own business. Like, what do you pay? How do you charge? because I've had someone come in and they've had to do payment plans just to pay their accountant bills.
Yeah.
When surely the accountant must realise that that's an over service for what you need.
Yeah.
But also is that it's what do you want from that? It's very easy to overpromise and under-deliver, and that's what you don't want to do. You want to make sure you're getting exactly what
you want and what you need. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we work closely with accountants. So if they're not doing the work, I will always check in with them if I'm not sure of something or want to double check something. But my limited company, I obviously have an accountant to do that for me. But I will do the bookkeeping and I will keep on top of the records. So, and it's a bit like the software. If you're sending out invoices and a lot of invoices, that's when you need the software, because then you can mark the invoices as paid and keep track of it that way. So that's where the software comes into its own in terms of what you're paying for. But what we've decided, because there's no one out there, and I've had a sudden influx over the last 3 weeks of, the last 1 to 2 weeks actually, of who needs help. They're confused. The only adverts I've seen are from Sage software company. They're the only adverts I've had about, and it's basically 2 tradesmen talking, going, this is really, really difficult. Oh, well, I signed up to Sage, it's fine. Sage is not going to it solves the problem of filing your self-assessment, but it doesn't solve the problem of how to do it, when to do it, what to do, what you can include, what your income is, what your expenditure is. You still need to find that out and work through it.
Yeah.
And that's my concern. So we've put a Making Tax Digital Day in the diary.
Fantastic.
We're always here on call anyway for anyone that needs it. And I've had quite a few messages via DM about different things. But we are having a day where people can just walk in, drop in, book a meeting, sit here and do what they need to do, just so they know what they're doing and how they're doing it.
It's that reassurance, isn't it? Like, if you sign up to a software, you're not necessarily going to have the ability to ask that back and forth questions, or in this box here, I've got this and that. Is that the right thing? Yes or no. So I suppose that's the benefit, is that you get to speak to a human being.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you've got all those little nuances that are going to be quite specific for your situations.
Yeah. And it's that speaking to a real person. And my biggest question mark and the issue I have over software is that it goes wrong. And when it does go wrong, which I've just had this week with a client, is I've had to fix it, but I can't charge the client to fix that. And the software company aren't going to pay me to fix it. So that's 2 hours on hold or talking to a software expert, 3 hours to fix it. So you've already lost half a day of being able to do anything. So it's making sure you understand that software, but also that it's the right software for you as well, because they are doing updates, they're doing AI updates, and it's, fair, whatever they're doing. But it's just, I don't know, I'm not pen and paper girl, but at the same time, it can make it easier.
Yeah.
Not using it.
Less complex for the sake of complexity.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. So the most important things to remember are you over the threshold for this year, or is it next year or the year after? Have you got software or something in place so you can report quarterly? How you're going to do that? If it's you going to do it, have you got someone who can handhold you, or do you just want to give it to someone else? If you do, just find the right person and get 3 quotes for that to compare, as you would expect if someone came to ask you. And just know your numbers and where you're at to avoid those brown envelopes for your letterbox.
Yes. Yeah, because for some people it might be an absolute breeze. Some people, you have got those little grey areas, those questions. So come along to the day that I can't remember what day it's
Thursday, the 26th of March. However, that is just one exclusive day. We're here all the time anyway, so you can always just give us a shout, book a one-to-one or book an appointment or book a desk hire, and we can sit and handhold you doing your whether it's spreadsheet, software, whatever it might be, just so you know exactly what you're doing. And it's just one less stress. And as I said at the beginning of the episode, don't stop and skip it. You have to do it. But also, once you've done it and you understand it, it's just stress and one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you know someone who's struggling or mention they're struggling or self-employed, please share this episode with them, or just let us know that we're here and we can help. If we can't help, one of our other contacts or expert team of bookkeepers or accountants can definitely help. Just see you've got the right person to work with as well, which is really important, I think, for especially when you're talking about income and tax. And we're British, we don't like talking about money.
No, but it's just set yourself up to win, isn't it? Like, and not be kind of surprised with any horrible
exactly that
outcomes of things that like you've overlooked or not understood properly. So
exactly that. So let us know what you think about this episode and share it as always. And please leave us a review or like and subscribe. And we'll look forward to
see you in the next one.
Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.